This is the committee's first hearing of assembly bills, and we have 15 measures, 8 of which are on consent. So we'll begin by Assemblyman Mathis is here.
And then
Item number 1, AB 144 on dumping, and I don't, is he here? And Assemblyman Chow is here, and Assemblyman Akajian is here. So we'll take them up in that order. Welcome to the committee.
Good morning.
Please present your bill.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Senators. AB 144 is an important bill to help address the problem of illegal dumping on private property across our state. Illegal dumping is often a crime of opportunity and occurs in remote locations or in low-income neighborhoods. When illegal dumping occurs, the damage to the neighborhoods and the environment can be severe. Unreported illegal dumping results in more illegal dumping as dumpers find an easy location and keep coming back. Illegally dumped material quickly becomes a breeding ground for mice, rats, and mosquitoes, which can spread disease, creating a public health hazard. Illegal dumping is hazardous to the environment. Refrigerators, tires, auto parts, and televisions contain heavy metals and other toxins which can contaminate air, ground, and waterways. They also pose fire hazards. Illegal dumping piles also pose traffic hazards when left in the public right-of-way. And illegal dumping costs local taxpayers untold amounts of money as property values decrease due to blight, reducing revenues to local agencies. After working with the chair of the Assembly Public Safety, Assemblyman Bill Cork, we were able to amend the bill to target serial offenders only, and he has since come on as a principal co-author. The bill has no formal opposition and has the support of local law enforcement agencies such as Tulare County Sheriff's Department, the Tulare County District Attorney's Office, and passed through the Assembly Appropriations and the Assembly floor on consent. At this time, I welcome the committee's comments and questions.
Okay, thank you. Are there speakers in support of the bill? Are there any speakers in opposition to the bill? Okay, seeing and hearing none, I actually have very good feelings toward this bill, this assembly member, because I've carried bills on illegal dumping myself, because it has affected low-income communities in my district, and I know across the state. I did have one question, though. Well, the add-ons to the fines, I think, are problematic, but it isn't just this bill, it's the fines in general. So I'm thinking that I would support the bill today, understanding that a $250 fine is a $1,000 fine, and so forth as it goes up. But I am concerned that in some counties, if you want to go before a judge, and if you believe you have been improperly cited, you would have to pay the whole fine in advance. And that could actually mean very severe penalties for some people. I'm going to, again, what I would hope is that because we don't want to cause a real financial burden or crisis to people who may have a legitimate challenge, that maybe we could work on language for appropriations, because this is a fiscally keyed bill.
Any amendments or anything looking specific, I'm more than happy to sit down and work with your office and go over things.
That would be great. We do have a quorum here, so hold on. Hold on, and we can have a motion. We'll establish our quorum. Please call the roll.
Hancock.
Here.
Hancock here. Anderson.
Here.
Anderson here. Glazer. Leno.
Here.
Leno here. Lou.
Here.
Lou here.
Okay. So having said that, I would.
Madam Chair, let me just thank you, Madam Chair.
and welcome, Assemblyman, to the Senate side. Is this your first bill on the Senate side?
Yes, sir.
All right. I would agree with the chair that you're completely on the right track. This is a problem that impacts my district as well as yours, and probably all of ours. But the assessments really do add up. And then I understand that these fines can be accrued daily. So the number could just become astronomical, even on a first, if not second offense. So we want to discourage, but at the same time, we know that because of these high assessments, the 310% plus the $79 flat fee, that the state doesn't actually collect these monies, and we drive people into severe hardship. And it's counterproductive finally. So I would encourage you to work with the chair as the bill goes to
Senators,
appropriation.
the goal of the bill isn't to target those who accidentally dumped or didn't realize what they were doing. It's specifically targeting the serial dumpers who are making this into a business. And those people can't afford to pay the fines because they're creating a business out of impoverishing other people and hurting our local areas.
Well, doesn't the bill, though, talk about only non-commercial amounts? Because I was wondering about that myself, because that was the problem and is the problem in my district. People who set up their small business, only they don't want to take the material to the dump and pay the dumping charge, so they use somebody's vacant lot. But is, I,
Madam Chair,
yeah.
I have just a quick question.
yeah.
Well, actually, two questions. Now, your bill only addresses the fourth time somebody does this, right? That's where you're making the change?
Yes.
The first dump, the second dump, those were things that already were in existing law. So you're not really changing that. So our focus point has really nothing to do with where he's doing to the law. It's the serial dumper. I mean, this is narrowly defined to the serial dumper. I'd like to be added as a co-author, and I'm prepared to move the bill, Madam Chair. But
No, it increases the fines for first, second, third, fourth offense. The fourth offense is a misdemeanor, but the first, second, third are if it's non-commercial and if it's not, because the existing fines that go up to 1,000 only are for non-commercial or for commercial dumping, or dumping on a private space that has an easement, or dumping of specified materials.
Yes, and we
so
came
this-
up with
this is
those.
everybody.
As the amendments that I worked on with Assemblyman Cork, we sat down and went through it because the original idea was just to move directly to a misdemeanor. And we worked through it to go after the process and look specifically at serial
But it
dumpers.
still increases the fines
Yes.
from 250 to 250. The first offense right now would be 250. This makes it 250 to 1,000 for a first, 1,000 to 3 for a second, and then 3 to 6, and then goes to the. So it increases the fines for every level for this one category of people that aren't commercial.
Again, Madam Chair, I'm more than willing to work with your office
Okay.
and other offices on amendments moving forward.
Thank you. I think we flagged some of the issues in,
Madam Chair, with that commitment, I move the bill.
thank you. And I just wanted to add that I've actually talked with the Assembly Public Safety Chair, and we are both interested in doing a whole hearing on the fines and the add-ons and what it means for the courts and the individuals involved. So that's why I think that while we're living with the present system, a lot of this dumping is undertaken in a calculated way to make a profit. It isn't, and we need to give, I think, strong disincentives, so it's a good bill. And please call the roll.
Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Anderson?
Aye.
Anderson, aye. Glazer? Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Lou?
Aye.
Lou, aye. Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Stone?
Okay, that bill has enough votes. We'll hold the roll open for the absent members. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
and
Madam
I'd
Chair.
like to vote on the consent calendar. Thank you. That's item 4, AB 231 by Eggman. Item 5, AB 249 by Obernolte. Item 7, AB 303 by Gonzalez. Items 9 and 10, 539 and 593 by Levine. No?
Which one is
9,
consent?
539.
Item 9 is no longer, it was removed from consent.
Oh, item 9 was removed from consent, so that's back on the, before us. Item 10, AB 593, is on consent. Item 13, AB 844 by Bloom. And item 14, AB 892 by Akajian. And item 15, AB 950 by Melendez. Please call the roll on the consent calendar.
Hancock.
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Anderson.
Aye.
Anderson, aye. Glazer. Leno.
Aye.
Leno, aye. Lou.
Aye.
Lou, aye. Monning. Monning, aye. Stone.
Okay, consent calendar passes. We'll hold the roll open for the absent members. Assemblymember Chow.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Senators. This morning I'm presenting AB 195. AB 195 would protect individual privacy by making it a crime to assist in the solicitation of a hacker to illegally access a computer network. Today, we live in a digitally connected world where more and more of our devices are equipped with sensors and connected to the internet. This new form of digital access has also resulted in many new forms of cyber crimes. Cyber crimes have significant and long-lasting effects on victims because the personal information stolen can result in identity theft, fraud, and personal embarrassment, all of which could take years to recover from, if ever. Under current law, it is a crime to solicit another to commit certain crimes such as bribery, kidnapping, and robbery. It is also a crime for somebody to knowingly hack into another's computer system without permission. However, it is not a crime to solicit unauthorized hacking services. In recent years, we have seen the growth of so-called hacker-for-hire websites where individuals solicit hackers to perform certain illegal activities, such as installing spyware on devices and gaining access to emails and social media accounts of the victims. At a time when cybersecurity is becoming a growing issue of concern, some of these sites are promoting a culture in which people are connecting with cyber criminals to commit illegal activities. Just last week, data breach on millions of people on current federal employees demonstrates how damaging these malicious hacking could be. AB 195 will provide law enforcement agencies with a tool to deter those who wish to commit cyber crimes. With me today, we have two witnesses. Let me turn over to my first one, Dan Filizzato, with the LADA's office, please.
Madam Chair, members, Dan Filizzato on behalf of the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. We are in strong support of AB 195. As Assembly members stated, this type of activity can address a variety of crimes. You have people who are accessing computer networks to commit identity theft. You have individuals who place spyware on stalking and domestic violence victims to track their locations. Our office helps protect LA County's computer systems, which are probed daily by individuals from around the country and around the world. This bill is targeted at individuals who solicit somebody to commit a crime. It's not merely soliciting an individual to, do a security check on your network, because that would be an authorized access. This bill references Penal Code Section 502. All of the crimes listed in 502 all reference the unauthorized access or for destroying information and data. So we are in strong support of AB 195.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Lieutenant Wayne Billow, on behalf of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, for the reasons stated, we urge your support for the bill. Thank you.
In support, and please, you can just do me toos.
Sean Hoffman with the California District Attorneys Association, also in support.
Christine Ward, Crime Victims Action Alliance, also in support.
Matt Seiberling on behalf of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, the Riverside Sheriff's Association, and the Association of Deputy District Attorneys, all in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there speakers in opposition to the bill?
Samantha Corbett on behalf of the Electronic Frontier Foundation, unfortunately in opposition of this bill. We do appreciate the author's intent here. However, our primary concern with the bill is that it would criminalize the offering of legitimate technical assistance services, as the author himself states, such services include, quote, recovering lost passwords to tracking stolen devices. As written, we believe that this measure would make it hard for legitimate services to be offered. There's a vast array of hacking services that are beneficial and critical to the computer security industry. One such example is penetration testing services. This is a procedure where an information security professional is hired to attempt to hack into a network using the same tools and techniques that a criminal hacker would. The report is then used not for crime, but to actually secure the network and prevent it from breach. As written, we believe the bill could criminalize linking to sites that offer these types of services. Although there's an intent requirement, the statutory language specifically calls out a website that, quote, offers to assist others in locating hacking services, which would obviously include penetration testing. The intent requirement would not prevent what we believe is a constitutionally impermissible chilling effect on those seeking to compare or list these type of legitimate services. For that reason, we oppose the bill as written.
Thank you. I wondered if the author would like to respond to that, because in my reading of the bill, the intent language is repeated several times and ought to make clear that it's with the intent to commit a crime.
Absolutely. And in fact, one of my witnesses attested to that as well. In fact, the bill, as I mentioned, targets activities that are done without permission, that's unauthorized, totally unauthorized, and also activities that are with the intent to commit a crime, such as 502 of the Penal Code. Now, I think the opposition also mentioned something about damage to the computer in the opposition letter. Let me just reiterate the fact that if the services is done with permission, whether it is penetration test or otherwise, that service is absolutely legal because it has authority, it has permission from, let's say, from the owner of the computer system, and that is within the purview of existing law. So that would not constitute a violation of the bill. On the other hand, if the intent if the solicitation is to violate Penal Code 502, then that would definitely be a crime under this new measure. Now, if during testing, if something is broken, something is damaged, for example, and if the damage constitute, let's say, a physical damage, we would resort to, let's say, negligence law or contract law. But if the damage is caused to, let's say, a database or computer system per se, something that's digital, then existing law also already addresses that. And if I could direct your attention to existing law, and that is Penal Code 502C4, page 5 of the digest of the lines 28 to 31, if I could read, somebody who's knowingly accessing and without permission adds, alters, damages, deletes, or destroys any data, computer software, or computer programs which reside or exist internally or externally to a computer system, or computer network, that person is already committing a crime under existing law. So I believe the existing language already addresses the concern there. So let me reiterate. So if the activity is done with permission, then there is no crime. So with that, I respectfully ask for a vote.
Well, are there any comments or questions from members of the committee, or is there a motion?
Madam Chair, just to underscore your point, and looking at the bill, I see the term "with the intent that the crime be committed" about 7 different times.
Right.
So I appreciate the opposition's concern. It's a good one, and we're glad you've raised it. But clearly, Assemblyman Chow has considered this and reiterated and reiterated and reiterated to make sure that that it is only with intent. So that would, I think, carve out the situation that you rightfully brought to the attention of the committee. I'm happy to move the bill.
So the bill has been moved. Please read the roll.
Hancock?
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Anderson? Aye. Anderson, aye. Glazer? Leno?
Aye.
Leno, aye. Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Monning?
Aye.
Monning, aye. Stone?
That bill has enough votes to pass. We'll hold the roll open for the absent members. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And item number 3, AB 222 by Akajian, vehicle records.
morning,
Welcome.
Madam Chair, honorable members. I'm pleased to present AB 222, which would add psychiatric technicians at the California Department of Correction and Rehabilitation and the Department of State Hospitals to the list of professions eligible for enhanced confidentiality of home addresses stored by the DMV. Currently, psych techs are employed to treat serious and violent offenders. In their capacity, many technicians have been threatened and even stalked by paroling inmates and discharged patients. AB 222 would add an enhanced level of protection for some of the most vulnerable employees at California Department of Corrections and the Department of State Hospitals. With me, sponsor of the bill, Kobe Bizodia of the Association of Psychiatric Technicians, who will also answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I'm Kobe Pizzati with the California Association of Psychiatric Technicians. As many of you are aware, 92% of the patients residing in a state hospital are there under forensic commitments. This means that the committing criminal offense must be of a serious and violent nature. Over 70% of CAP's membership are women, and many of whom have been stalked by patients that have been released from state hospitals. Also, CAP has nearly 1,100 psychiatric technicians that are providing direct level of care services to inmates that are mentally unstable at our prisons. While nearly all of the individual staff have some kind of contact with inmates that are covered by this enhanced, or with staff that are covered by this enhanced confidentiality program, the psych techs were the only group that was left out. One of our members, I'll call her Rachel, she was out of Atascadero State Hospital, had a patient become infatuated with her while she was providing care at that hospital. This infatuation turned into an obsession and eventually harassment. Rachel was moved off the unit where the patient was to protect her from the unwanted advances that soon became attacks. Finally, the patient was released back into the community, and Rachel thought she was safe. And finally, the harassment had stopped until one day, Rachel started receiving threatening text messages from what turned out to be the patient. He sent vulgar pictures, made threats to harm her family. Rachel contacted the police, got a restraining order. Unfortunately, police could not find the patient once Rachel made the complaint. Finally, one day there came a knock on her door, and it turned out to be the patient. So what ended up to be an okay situation when she called the police and they finally got a hold of the patient could have turned out to be something incredibly serious. Another incident was from a member, Stan, out of Stockton. Stan had been receiving verbal threats from an inmate until one day the chief psychiatrist and warden wanted to speak to Stan. Stan had been, or the inmates had been sending letters to the inmate's family talking about Stan, asking the inmate's family to get all the information they can, including the make and model of the car that Stan drove. The warden advised Stan to get onto the enhanced confidentiality program through the DMV. When Stan tried to do so, he was told that he could not because of his classification not being allowed. This bill is identical to the Galgiani bill that passed out of this committee 7-0. We are just hoping that we can get some of the same protections that many other custodians, janitors, RNs, LVNs already have. So, thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Ted Toppin for the Association of California State Supervisors. ACSS represents the psych tech supervisors and managers at corrections and state hospitals seeking the enhanced confidentiality protection here. We are strongly in support. We think it is modest and appropriate to do to protect the state employees there.
Thank you. Others in support? Speakers in opposition to the bill? Seeing and hearing none. been tried before. One more time. I think you make a good case. Are there questions or comments from members of the
Madam
committee
Chair?
or motion?
Senator Monning had to go to another committee to cast a vote, but shared with me that he shares Atascadero with the Assemblyman and that he is well aware of the need for this bill and supports it entirely, and thanks you for taking this up.
Thank you.
I move the bill.
Thank you. So the bill has been moved. Please call the roll.
Hancock.
Aye.
Hancock, aye. Anderson.
Aye.
Anderson, aye. Glazer. Leno.
Aye.
Leno, aye. Lou.
Aye.
Lou, aye. Monning. Stone.
That bill has enough votes, but we'll hold the roll open for the absent members.
Thank you, Madam Chair.